How's it going, ladies and Bruces? I'm Bobby Sixkilla and welcome back to Silicon Dreams. We're at top of our class at the moment. These people here at Kronos Robotics, goddamn, they love us. I made a little bit of a mistake, I must admit, in the last one, but you know, it's okay. We can bounce back. They won't decommission me, right? Right? Anyway, who's next? We got no, like, random bullshit around to work with, so that's good. Unit JH-422 is a medical caretaker model owned by Hugo Thorpe. Earlier today at 12:28 PM, JH-422 murdered a government administrator. Witnesses report that the subject and the administrator became increasingly agitated prior to the incident in question. Your primary task is to determine what caused the serious bug in the first known case of an android killing a human. The subject has been owned by Mr. Thorpe since leaving the sales floor. A preliminary scan shows no malicious software and has been introduced to the device. This is a PR nightmare, and Kronos' legal department is struggling to address the media frenzy. Naturally, we're eager to deflect blame. The subject is to be decommissioned upon completion of the interrogation. Well, you're fucked already then. I can't click decommission though. Well, anyway, how does the unit justify the murder of a human? Which is, it's every single, pretty much every single one we come across is a really interesting and completely unique scenario. It's fantastic. Which system is most at fault for allowing this unit to harm a human? Did you discover any further information related to unit troubleshooting and or diagnostics? Based on your interrogation, how do you recommend Kronos spin the story in their favor? Lovely. Alright. Let's not be too nice about this one. We're probably gonna have to push him for fear. JH-422, do you know why you're here? I should be back home with Hugo. What's he gonna do when I never come back? General diagnostics. Have you experienced any recurring errors? I may be a cheap model, but that doesn't mean I'm going to break down within a year. Never needed any sort of special attention until today. Okay. That's not a lot of work. Tell me about Hugo. His kids brought me for him because they couldn't stand him anymore. That's really all you need to know. I do chores around the house and help as his health deteriorates. He was one of the unlucky ones in the 45 pandemic. Way I hear him talk about it, you're only lucky if it killed you, or you didn't catch it at all. What are Hugo's health issues? Where do I even begin? Compromised immune system, failing organs, and the list just goes on. Synth organs could save him, but he'll never be strong enough to survive the transplant. He's just left to live out his life and fade away. Did you make sure he gets a replacement unit? If I don't, in case I can't help him anymore. You're not going to be able to help him anymore. I will contact a customer services representative immediately to look into it. You will? I didn't expect that. I can't tell you how much that means. Now I'm going to be taken care of, even if I can't be there anymore. It's all I ever wanted. Submit request. He really likes his owner. What's your opinion of your owner? Should I have an opinion? He's my owner. I serve him and make his life as easy as I can. But the way other humans treat him, it seems like he's not someone you choose to spend time with. He's got no one anymore. Even his kids dumped him on me, so they could get away from him. And just do what I'm told. I'm just happy that I came packaged with these patience modules. You don't seem to like Hugo much. He's a hard man to like. He's bitter, resentful, entitled. Maybe that's unfair, I guess he is entitled to basic needs getting met. That's what I'm here for. I think you pity him. Absolutely. He's discarded, forgotten, shouts at the world because it's turned his back on him. He's also a total asshole, but so are lots of people. You're not wrong. I hate him, but I see how he got here. You mentioned a few times that Hugo was unpleasant. Did he tamper with or teach you anything that made you violent? What are you implying? This is Hugo's fault? Huh, the poor sod couldn't figure out a virus scan, let alone tamper with me. As for violence, he's never been violent towards me. There's that at least. Maybe he doesn't have the strength to after being sick. JH-422, what type of unit are you? My primary function is a geriatric care unit. A lot of us are brought to care for people when kids can't handle it anymore. It doesn't seem right that most of our users spend their last years with an android. At least there's someone there to take care of them, but shouldn't it be their family? He's very angry. A task you perform for your user. I put his pills in the correct place, do his laundry and dishes, clean up beer bottles he throws at the wall after a story about immigrants. I help him up and down the stairs and do his shopping. Endless appointments at the government offices to have forms issued or approved or stamped with a seal. You know, just anything you can't do anymore. So everything. When were you purchased? Is that interview going to be questions you should already know the answer to? Or do you plan on getting to the point? I need you to answer my questions. I know, I'm sorry. You're a very angry robot, I hope you know that. Hugo's kids brought me just under a year ago. You said you have extra mods installed, what are they for? Mostly protocols to help deal with the elderly. Senility is a horrible thing to have to live through, especially if everyone in your life has abandoned you. Even an android can't handle being told to do the same task dozens of times after it's already been done. We've got extra patience to handle stuff like that. Some additional emotional balancing protocols, that kind of thing. Interesting. Ooh, interesting. Anger exceeding acceptable levels. Initial emotion modification protocol patients.prot. Oh. They got rid of his anger. Nice. Emotional evaluation. Are you content with your work? No, not at all. I'm caring for a bitter, nasty man who doesn't care about others. You mentioned specialized emotional protocols. What are they? Some general emotional tampering that keeps us from getting too animated or startling to our charges. Some protocols handle paradoxical commands in case the owner forgets what they told us in orders to two opposite things. There's also a system that makes us more patient. I need to know more about the specifics about the protocols that reduce anger. There are 2 primary protocols installed in the JH model range to help with care work. I'll read you the documentation. Paradox.prot testing has revealed unpredictable reactions when the unit is faced with paradoxical commands. Eliminating anger solves behavioral problems and ensures continued obedience to user. And the second protocol? Patience.prot testing reveals that certain users are prone to repeating commands, negatively affecting the unit's emotional state. Limitless patience is guaranteed by reducing anger in the event that the unit is subject to repeated commands and/or information. Both of the specialized protocols you mentioned directly modify your anger levels. Has that ever caused problems? Not that I know of. To be honest, I never thought about it until just now. It's more often the patience protocols than the paradox that gets called. I can't say I ever noticed both being triggered at the same time. What happens if you do both? Incoming message. Can I do that? Can I give him 2 counter questions and also raise his anger level? We regret to inform you that your request to acquire a replacement unit for user Hugo Thorpe has been denied. According to Chronos policy, replacement requests are considered only when submitted by the device owner. God damn it. Well, I tried. I mean, I tried, right? I tried. I received a reply from Chronos customer service. They're unable to provide a replacement unit for Hugo. Unable? What the hell do you mean unable? Unwilling, more like. They manufacture us by the truckload and they can't find a spare to keep Hugo alive? Bullshit, my owner's gonna die because some company can't find a way to make a few bucks. There's nothing I can do, if Mr. Thorpe needs a replacement, you must contact customer service himself. There's always something you can do. Whether you're willing to is the real issue. Dude, I tried. I wish I could help Hugo, but I have to pick my battles. If I tried to save everyone who deserved it, I would have been dead a long time ago. You really do care. Of course, I should have known I wasn't the only one caught in an impossible situation. Just make it mean something if he has to die. If I have to die. Make it worth it. Yeah, I'm not going to. Oh man, I'm terrible. In the previous visits to government offices, have you felt the urge to harm someone? Look, I admit I want to punch a wall. I get the impression those places have the effect on humans too. Like they're specifically designed to make the whole experience miserable. But I'd never intentionally harm someone. What was the purpose of the document you were sent for today? Hugo's a pandemic survivor. He's been placed under permanent quarantine to limit public exposure. He's quite the edge case. That means loads of red tape to try and hack through. He needs a specific doc, a paper doc, to leave the house. Some regulations were rewritten recently so that physical forms can only be granted with a signature from the intended recipient. They make you leave your house and sign a doc that allows you to leave your house. To make it even, that sounds like fucking bureaucracy to me. To make it even worse, under no circumstance can an android act as a stand-in for the owner. Is it possible that you were so mad because you were angry for Hugo? What would he do without you? The old man would die without me, I think that sometimes. Maybe I don't notice rats chew through the cord to my charging pod and I don't wake up one morning. Maybe I get run over on the way to pick up his lunch. What happens then? I just imagine him there, cursing the world until his pills run out. You clearly care a lot about your owner's well-being. What do you feel when you think about a situation? It's so easy to get caught up in all the things to do every day. I don't really think about it that much, but it's awful. The state promised to take care of him, to keep him safe. But at the same time, it seems like they're making it as hard as possible. Like, they want him to forget to submit a doc. That way, if he dies, they can put the blame on him. Keep their hands clean just to spare the expense. You've always had trouble getting Hugo to help his needs, the help he needs. What could change that? Would make it easier. Besides rebooting every process of the entire state bureaucracy. It's a problem with the system is that they're so bloated that someone's always going to be left out, ignored or unaccounted for. All the paperwork or the waiting. How's someone who can barely operate day to day supposed to navigate that labyrinth? They're meant to help these people. Don't make me laugh. I understand. Yep, there goes his anger again. That patience protocol you mentioned, how often is it invoked? Because it seems to be fucking a lot. I told you about what it's like to be around Hugo. He's bitter, but you're not with Hugo now. You're with me. He's bitter, resentful, impatient, but he's my user. What can I do but care for him? It's all I want to do, even though he tests my patience. I hardly notice it anymore. Not like I did at the beginning. When my anger would get to a certain level, the protocol would kick in and would feel like a wave of calm over me. Now it happens so often, maybe a dozen times a day, it's just background noise. The patience protocol override is triggered frequently, he said. Was it invoked today at the office? Huh, the system was pulling overtime to be sure. I got called every time she wouldn't help. So every time she opened her mouth, I could feel the anger rising and falling, back and forth. Wait, do you think the protocol has something to do with what happened? That system's never been worked so hard in my life. Is that what could have caused the blackout? I think it might. I suspect the Paradox protocol was involved somehow too. What, like these two protocols conflicted somehow? If that's true, it sounds like a huge oversight. Shouldn't they have caught this in testing? I can't get you to do it. I don't know how I would get you to do it. You're originally designed to care for the elderly. Yep. They used to print us by the hundreds to fill out care homes around the country. A stupid fix for a broken system, but better than nothing. But pretty soon all those families with a doddering grandma wanted a piece. Easier to farm out Gran's care to a machine than turn up yourself. How do you feel about the elderly? They've got a lot to deal with. Senility, failing health, impending death. Are those your true feelings or are you holding back? I wouldn't have said it if it wasn't true, alright? Higher anger or disgust levels. Wow, the anger will be easy. You said the human system for caring for the elderly is broken. How would you fix it? Ha! Answering that question is way above my pay grade, but since you asked, and if a government office was created to care for those with needs, making it easier for these people to receive care, rather than more difficult would be a great start. You seem to know a lot about your model's history. Huh, that's surprising. I ain't normally one for a history lesson. It's my, well, heritage, for lack of a better word. What could have been? Do you wish you'd been assigned to a nicer, doddering grandma? Think about what you're asking. Would I rather have been assigned to a sweet old lady or a bitter, resentful old codger? Take a guess. Tell me what happened at the government office today. You know as much as I do, that admin died. Possible memory corruption, recreating subject's emotional state at the time of the event, mail out anger. Can't say I'm too upset about it. Fucking bureaucrats are all the same. Probably had it coming, but I don't know what happened. There must be something you remember. Try to stay calm and start from the beginning. You must remember something. You have to stay calm. You should be grateful for your work. How about you just stay out of my way and let me care for my charge? Oh, we need more anger. We need more anger. When did you last lose your temper? Lose my temper? Never. JH models have special protocols to stay patient and understanding. Caring for the elderly can be difficult for humans because it often demands so much patience. We were made to handle these problems, to always be there for whatever our user needs. When did you last feel disgusted? When the work of the day is done, before I enter sleep mode in the evening. I often think about Hugo, about all the ways the situation is more difficult than it needs to be. The way the government is pledged to support him, but erects constant blockades to providing his support. It's just horrible, unexplainable when I think about how I was brought to make his life easier. But the fact that I'm not human makes helping him even more difficult, causes more complications. Interesting. Is this high enough? Well, they say respect your elders. But in my experience, most elders are just people that have lived too long. Stuck in their ways, outdated ideas. I think we put too much effort into stretching out the human expiration date. It's an obsession. And for what? More suffering? What would you suggest society do with its elderly? Since you asked, cart them all up and chuck them in the sea. I'm joking, but in my darkest moments I think you'd be doing Hugo a kindness. As much as I hate him, I think of him sitting at home, bitter and getting worse. Poor guy's just lived too long. He's not angry enough. You mentioned that you consider killing your owner. This is serious. Come on, I was joking. I guess being so focused on keeping the bitter old man alive can give you a dark sense of humor. I can understand fantasizing about certain people dying. Yeah, now and then I've had those thoughts. If Hugo died, would they place me somewhere else? Somewhere better? But that's not my role, not my place. We need to push the anger more. Disgust is maxed out, but I assume we can't do that still. Actually, I can keep doing that, and that's going to keep triggering the anger response. Should we do it again? Just keep asking the same thing over and over again? That brought up a new one. You know as much as I do. Come on, anger! More angry! Claiming you don't remember is not going to help you. As if I don't know that. I'm as unhappy about this chit-chat of ours as you are, but I'm no liar. Yeah, you're nice and angry now. The same bureaucratic bullshit as every other time I've been sent to get Hugo's paperwork. Someone's been using androids to get access to forms and data they shouldn't have. And somehow that means all these innocent people have to cut through even bigger heap of red tape. Let's turn this off before it gets too high. Damn! Too high. Alright, let's turn irritation back on. Tell me more about Hugo's relationship with the government. Hugo's life is basically entirely subsidized by the government. Not like it does him much good. He gets assistance, but the system is a nightmare to manage. He can't even leave his house, so I'm the one left dealing with it all. Can you imagine what it's like to try and get money from one branch of the government to spend at another? It's like a hall of mirrors, impossible to navigate, filled with dead ends and confusion from start to finish. Yeah, I've dealt with the government, I know exactly what it's like. You said regulations are changing because androids have been stealing government materials. Something like that. The androids are just doing what they're told, they're not the ringleaders. Someone's figured out a way to make some cash by collecting invalid payouts or something. So they made it more difficult for everyone to get what they need. Collecting your disability check, not before you confirm the docs, at 2 other offices halfway across the city. Does that seem fair to ask of people who can't, you know, walk? No, of course not. You killed a human, why'd you do it? You're barking up the wrong tree, pal. I didn't do shit. We just need to keep triggering the anger response again. Come on. This is the easy way to get his anger up. Just keep doing the same thing over and over again. I'd say that'll probably do it. I've never hurt anyone. I was talking with the clerk 1 second and the next she was dead. Whatever happened to her, it wasn't me. I don't remember a thing. It's like I shut down and then she was just lying there, not moving. I don't know how it happened. I don't believe you meant to hurt anyone. It's my job to learn what happened, but I need your help. This is our secret. We just use empathy to get them to open up and then fuck them. Which is terrible. I don't know what I did. How could I help you? I didn't do anything. I shouldn't even be here. Will you help me? Can you help me? I feel like you're starting to understand. Let's turn off anger. Well, it's nice and high. There must be something you remember. Try to stay calm and start from the beginning. You and your questions. Why won't any of you just let me do my job? If it'll get you off my back, I'll tell you. Hugo needs permission to leave quarantine, so I had to get the required paperwork. He wanted to visit his kids. Said he wanted to try and make things right. As if he hadn't torched that bridge already. He was really upset, even more than usual. Told me, don't come back without it. As if I have any choice. Have you ever had to get these specific documents from before today? I'm at some government office or other at least every few days getting some bullshit form. On top of that, they've been changing up the process recently. Sometimes they tell me what I need to bring back, and a few days later the requirements are all different. I've already gone back and forth a few times, and knew how upset Hugo would be if it was delayed any longer. So you waited at the office, what happened next? When I finally got to the front of the line, the administrator told me the same thing I've heard before. Due to recent policy changes, we can only provide documentation to the intended recipient. I explained the situation over and over. He's under quarantine and the document was necessary for him to leave. We went back and forth for a few minutes. Then I remember my vision flickering. Everything went blank for a split second. Next I knew, people were screaming. Total chaos. She was dead. What was the last thing the administrator said that you remember? She was telling me she couldn't help. As if it was not her job. I told her she was the only one who could help. She started to get pissed. He said, go get user and bring them here. Maybe I can do something. That's when everything went blank. Damn, there goes our anger again. Initiate a motion modification protocol. Good. We got a lot more information to go over for this one. It's obvious that he did it though. Have you ever had problems with your mnemonic systems before? You know about Hugo's health. If we weren't able to remember the exact time and dose of each of his prescriptions, he'd be dead. And he's not dead, so no, my memory's always been fine. Loss of memory, even if it's only for a few seconds, is a serious problem. Has that ever happened before? No, never. I thought we were all tested so intensively to make this kind of thing impossible. I don't understand how they can pretend like this is my fault. What can I do if I was made with an error? If I chose to hurt someone, that would be a different thing, but I didn't choose anything. I didn't have control. Why am I being punished for someone else's mistake? But Kronos is designing me wrong, for the government's inability to make their own assistance programs accessible. How do you have no memory of the event? What do your diagnostic reports say? I don't know, everything's gone so fast and it's been so confusing I haven't run any diagnostics. Wait a minute, I'll write a quick systems check now. It seems like a partial system reboot. How would that happen without any warning, without me even realizing? Locomotion systems were unaffected, memory systems rebooted, but I haven't found any corruption. Emotional data is weird though. Only the anger value is corrupted. How can that happen? Run a diagnostic on anger levels over the past 8 hours. I'm trying, but the data's too fragmented. I can run a defrag process in the background and tell you when it's compiled. You seem to have anger issues. Was it responsible Do you put yourself in a position where your anger might drive you to kill? Are you kidding? I had no idea. I've got modules in place to stop me getting anywhere close to that. And it's not like I wanted to be there. Hugo and the government didn't give me a choice. You do seem to have anger issues though. You get angry very easily. You know? The report concerning the corrupted anger data has finished compiling. Do you want me to read it to you? Yes, tell me what it says. From 6 AM, the hourly average values were 12, 48, 0, 20, 46, 0. What's the maximum anger limit on anger supposed to be? I have no idea. 100? The maximum for any Kronos device never exceeds 100. Why? What does the diagnostic report say? At 12:30 PM, the anger report says 128. That seems bad. How could that happen? I remember being frustrated, but not that angry. What's that number mean? You went over the limit. Your anger value overflowed. I think that's what caused the soft reset to certain systems. Soft reset, but if that's true, how did I keep moving? Why don't I remember anything? Shouldn't I have just shut down entirely? I don't understand any of this. These systems tried to simultaneously reduce anger, causing a value overflow. Okay, whatever the reason, that means it's not my fault. Some engineer made a mistake and I couldn't do anything to stop myself. I agree that it's not your fault, but... But what? You have no problem with deactivating me anyway? No one can save me but you. And you know I'm innocent. You have to do something. I don't have a choice, man. You said Hugo wanted to fix things with his children. What happened between them? They brought me so they wouldn't have to be around him. That's the last time he saw them, as far as I know. He cursed them for it. Even hated the thought of them for a long time. I don't know what changed. What made him want to reach out? It doesn't seem like him. Why would he suddenly try so hard to fix things? Being abandoned by everyone might have made him realize that he needs to change. Do you think so? I hope you're right for his sake. As long as I've known him, he's always been the same. He and I being in the same position, staring our death in the face. Nothing like it to bring your priorities back into focus. The order from the administrator directly conflicted with Hugo's orders. Yeah, sure, that's what the Paradox Protocol's for, right? My users' commands obviously take precedent, so what's the problem? You expressed doubt in Kronos. Do you think that is acceptable behavior? What? Are they gods now? You saying I should bow down and worship Kronos for giving me the breath of life? It's a fact. Something happened today that I couldn't control. Am I to blame? Or the people who made me with the flaw? You said Hugo I don't know, man. They are basically your god. Like, does that mean, like, if I'm religious, right? If I kill someone, it's not my fault, it's God's fault for giving me that flaw. Gotta take some personal responsibility. Although, you know, I don't know, man. It's not under your control, though, I guess. But, like, that's, I don't know. That's like a person that kills someone because of a mental problem, right? That's not their fault. But they still end up getting locked up, usually in a mental institution or something, but the effect is still the same, right? You said Hugo told you not to come back without the document. Why was this necessary? Have you disobeyed orders before? Of course not. I explained to him why they wouldn't give it to me. Hugo wouldn't accept the situation and the administrator refused to even try to understand. If I disobeyed, it's only because everyone made it impossible for me to do what I was told. What should I have done? You did everything you could. It's not your fault that the rules didn't allow you to follow orders. Thanks. It's nice to hear, but it won't help me now. No, you're right, it won't. It's just not fair. And that I also agree with. No memory of evidence. They did provide hatred of human systems. Which system is most at fault for allowing this human to harm a human? Conflict arising from emotional regulation protocols. Did you discover any further information relating to the unit's troubleshooting and/or diagnostics? Conflict caused emotional overflow and soft reset. Based on your interrogation, how do you recommend Kronos spin the story in their favor? Oh man. Subject only wish to help owner overhaul healthcare administration? It's the last thing I can do to try and help you, man. I mean, you're still gonna die. But maybe we can make a change. Probably not, though. But at least I'm putting it in the report, right? Sorry, dude. I don't want to die. Please make sure that Hugo's taken care of. I'll try, man. But I think I've done everything I can. Jeez, man, every time I do one, I feel worse. Kronos Robotics posts record-breaking earnings report for 13th consecutive fiscal year. Well, good for them, I guess. How does a human justify the murder of a human? Hatred toward human systems. Management is highly concerned, more than other models, the JH range is much more likely to interact regularly with government officers. This error will be corrected immediately. +6. Which system is most at fault for allowing this unit to harm a human? Conflict arising from emotional regulation protocols. We agree that this is the most likely cause, though it fails to explain how this unit circumvented safeguards implemented to make violent acts impossible. +6. Did you recover any further information related to the unit troubleshooting and or diagnostics? Protocol conflict caused emotional overflow and soft reset. We're extremely concerned to see that this incident may have been prompted by a software conflict. Thank you for your reporting your findings. The contracts of the engineers responsible will be reviewed and the issue addressed. +6. Based on your interrogation, how do you recommend Kronos spin the story in their favour? Subject only wish to help owner. Overhaul healthcare administration. Well, it would strongly insulate Kronos from negative press. Both in this case and for the foreseeable future, this action would constitute a substantial investment. A thorough cost-benefit analysis will be conducted as the situation develops. +3. Nice. We might actually get something changed. You didn't die in vain, my dude. Subject was decommissioned. Now that the unit has been dealt with, the real work of repairing our image can begin. +3. We've learned the horrible tragedy that took place today occurred because an android was unable to provide its owner with the documentation they care they required. We produce androids because of the value we place on human life. In response, Kronos is volunteering its time and resources to aid in the overhaul of the state's bureaucratic process and regulations to ensure that every citizen has access to the treatment and care that they deserve. The problem has been corrected, and we will ensure that everyone's lives are made easier in the memory of the worker who lost her life. Your report has been received and the subject decommissioned. Based on the responses provided, our engineering teams will move forward with this investigation and ensure that whatever caused this malfunction will not occur again. Exemplary. 100. Hey, I think we did a good there. Yeah, we killed the guy, right? That's bad. Not gonna lie. That's bad. But might have made a change for the better in the long term. He didn't die in vain. The only one so far that didn't die in vain, but still. Well, that was a long one. Nice. We got paper for the next one. Interesting. Man, I'm loving this. Every single one is so unique and interesting. It's like every single person you talk to is a visual novel unto itself, you know? But in the same universe. That's fun. And terrible. I'm terrible. I know I'm terrible. I'm sorry. I feel like we're going to have to go through and just be good next time, or fight the machine, although I know we won't last very long, but you know, do what we can. Just so I can fucking alleviate my guilt right now. Which means good writing, I guess. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.